you already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
You already know, everybody. It's Saturday morning. The Rad Man back at you, coming through the speakers loud and clear. DJ Sean Touch on the turntables this morning. We're making it happen here on Real Deal Sports Show, and we got a lot to talk about. First of all, we're broadcasting live from the Rock Palm Broker Studios. Each and every Saturday morning from the Rock Palm Broker Studios, we coming to you live. And this first segment is brought to you by Challenger Community News, West New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, BuffChalNews.com, BuffChallNews.com. Email your articles, editor at thechallengernews.com. Go to the website, email the editor, and we'll be ready to roll on Challenger Community News. Check us out each and every week. Excellent article on the cover this week. Got a lot going on the LIT, Rochester's LIT Mentors of Valor program. Excellent program. We saw them at the Garfagan Dance and RPO event last Saturday night. Those kids did a great job coming out. Excellent young musicians as well. So check out the Challenger newspaper each and every week at a location nearby. And we're here to talk sports of all sorts today. As we always do on Saturday morning, we're here to talk sports of all sorts, and we're going to get into it right away with that Buffalo Bills press conference, the second press conference, I guess. Good morning, Bilal. Welcome back, Bilal. How you doing this morning?
Good. How about you, Rad Man?
Yes, ready to get it in this morning. And yes, that's unbelievable. Second press conference, Joe Brady. I was very impressed with Joe Brady. He kept referring to the Sean Payton tree, and I see why, because he's picking people right off the Sean Payton tree to come with him. The OC, I think, is going to be running a lot of the operation. 15 years in with the New Orleans Saints, and then also with the Denver Broncos recently, the past season. I think the gentleman will help Payton, help Joe Brady get the offense in order and get the Bills' offense more upgraded. As Greg Cosell mentioned earlier in the week, a lot of teams felt that the Bills' offense was simple and plain last season and didn't think it was really up to NFL standards. So I think Joe Brady might have knew some of that. That's why he's bringing in some of Sean Payton's people to help with the offense. And I'm looking to see what he's going to do with defense. Hopefully Jim Schwartz, he's a guy that in Cleveland looked like he's upset with Cleveland not hiring him as head coach. He wants out possibly. Jim Schwartz for defensive coordinator would be a good fit for the Buffalo Bills, as well as Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris has a go after. The way they went after the Bills and jacked Buffalo up on that Monday night football game, I think Raheem Morris could be a good defensive coordinator, a good fit for, as Joe Brady says, he wants to go after people. He wants to get aggressive this upcoming season. Bilal, what do you think of his comments, of his Joe Brady's first press conference?
He said a lot of the right things. One of the things that kind of, didn't rub me right was he sounded like he was trying to sell it. He was there was an interview where he was talking about, I can't wait until training camp and Josh throws an interception and I go celebrate with the defense and rubbing it all. I'm like, you doing a lot right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I get it, because you're trying to sell to the team. The point that he was making was that he's the head coach, not the offensive head coach. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he didn't need to do all that in order to convince people that he's excited about having some say on both sides of the ball and rallying both sides, all of the team around what they're trying to accomplish this coming season. I thought he did he said a lot of the right things, and I'm excited to see, I maybe excited a little bit much, but I'm curious to see what he does offensively and defensively with the staff that he brings in. But I thought he did a lot to try to sell himself as the guy that the fan base can rally around.
Exactly. J-GILLZ, welcome. Real Deal Sports Show. It's another great morning, J-GILLZ. What was your take from the new Bills head coach, Joe Brady?
Most definitely. Good morning, Real Deal family. Always good to have y'all, man. It's a good week. But you know what? When I saw that press conference originally, I didn't like it. I believe I called you, right, man. I said, "This is
Yeah.
your new head coach." I said, "This is your guy." I said, "I couldn't believe it, man." We've been hearing the term having an adult in the room. Sean McDermott was a grown man in the room. He commanded respect. This guy didn't seem like he commanded respect to me. He seems like he's another player. You know what I mean? He seems like he's just buddy with Josh Allen. And I know you got to be good with your quarterback. I know that you have to be on terms with your quarterback. But it seems like they're best friends, not player coach. I mean, the one thing I can say is he seems very different from Sean McDermott, and different is what they were looking for. I guess they didn't want that strict disciplinarian. They found their guy. He is creative offensively. We've seen that. He does have great relationships with players. We've seen this with his time in LSU, working with the Justin Jeffersons and the Joe Brady's of the world, being the offensive coordinator for that stacked historic team. So he does build relationships. Let's see if it's going to go in his favor. But to me, he just didn't seem like he's going to command that respect out of the team, especially people know him. And it seems like he's an offensive coordinator, so the offense has always been cool. And the defense, some of those guys probably weren't bought in. And now, as the head coach and having to lead this whole team, all 53 on that roster, let's see if he can truly get the buy-in he needs. Because last time I checked, football is on both sides of the ball. You're not just going to drop 30 on a team and expect to win every game. You got to play defense. So to your point, right, man, who's he going to bring in? Who are these coordinators? They lost a lot of key coaches on that Sean McDermott coaching staff. So it's going to be very important that he has his crew in there to rally up this team, because the expectations are still sky high. Last he checked, and he should know that you have to at least win some playoff games at the bare minimum. You have to get to a Super Bowl, and ultimately you have to get it done and get that championship.
I think to answer your questions real quick, gentlemen, Peter Carmichael. Peter Carmichael is the new offensive coordinator. He comes over from Denver. But the key thing, looking him up, he was with New Orleans Saints for 15 years. So that means he was there for the Super Bowl. He's there for the Drew Brees era. He was the pass game coordinator. So he's probably going to be up in the press box, not in the press box, but in the coach's box. And he would tell Sean Payton what the defenses they're in, and then that would dictate what offensive plays to run. So it's obvious Joe Brady is setting it up just very similar to where he learned at the Sean Payton School of Coaching. And Joe Brady already said he's going to call the plays. So this Peter Carmichael is going to be very instrumental to him being his eyes and ears, what the defense is, and what are some of the keys, what some of the plays that he should be running. So because it's obvious. He knows he needs help as an offensive coordinator. He's only growing as a coordinator. So this Peter Carmichael hire is very important to him to help him get him over the hump as an offensive coordinator. And when he's calling plays, he'll be able to be much better suited to make the calls against the different defenses. It sounds like they're going to go down the field with the ball a lot more. You may not see that bubble screen as we saw forever and a day, guys. I think that might be
yes, you know what you need. You know what you need to throw the ball down the field. You need guys who can stretch the field. You got to play offense with what you got, and they don't. So it sounds good. We seen Remember the Titans. Denzel Washington started feeling like the defense wasn't getting called so great. He said, "Hey, Yoltz, they score one more time, and I'm taking over." If Joe Brady don't like what he see on offense, guaranteed, so he can say the right things, and I get it. You got to say the right things. This is the time to say the right things. This is the time to be very kumbaya. It's a new relationship. It's a new wedding, and so all the right things are going to be said. When the rubber meets the road, what happens? And so we'll see. We'll wait to see what happens, but. Again, it's gonna sound real good right now. J-GILLZ, did they get their guy, or did they get left with who they had to, take because they had nobody who was left that was really interested after that debacle of the first press conference with Pagula and Joe Brady, or with Pagula.
I think they got their guy, and to me, this is what I don't understand. I think they didn't want to break that power structure. They wanted somebody who understood what that relationship was in Buffalo, what the Pagulas and being somebody they were comfortable with, somebody that wasn't going to rock the boat per se, somebody that wasn't going to change the ship and change the direction too much. So I think they went. I think they did get their guy. I don't think it was the right guy. Heck, I don't think they should have fired Sean McDermott without firing Brandon Beane. But here we are today. So I do believe that they got the guy they wanted, the guy that Josh was comfortable with. Because let's keep it real. Again, why is he even in the interview room? You know what I mean? I could talk to you and say, hey, how you like this guy? Da, da, da. Nah, but to be in the interview room asking questions for a one-time MVP, that man never sniffed a Super Bowl. It's about what Josh Allen wanted at the end of the day, and they can't tell me otherwise.
Exactly, and sounds like Top Gun agrees with you because he said, "What's this, buddy? The coach or player? Buddy sounds like the Lakers." Man, that sounds like. Yeah, I hear you, Top Gun, down there in the Beltway. Thank you for checking in.
Take it easy on my guy, LeBron. Take it easy on my LeBron. That's my guy.
It also,
we got football about to be over. We got a whole lot to talk about for basketball. Okay,
we definitely do. In the weeks to come, we're going to have an awful lot to talk about in the basketball. Top Gun also mentions if you don't have a front line, you can't get time to stretch the field. The Bills, I think they do have a decent offensive line. They have some good – that's where their strong suit is their offensive line. And their backups are pretty decent too. So I think the offensive line, and with the guy coming over from the Steelers who was Pat Ryan, who used to be understudied under Aaron Kromer, and Aaron Kromer finally retired. He retired after 21 years of coaching on the offensive line. He definitely going to be missed. But they brought one of his disciples in from Pittsburgh, and J-GILLZ. Let's get to the next.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Red Man.
Yeah, but as we're going to roll into the Josh Allen press conference coming up next. But go ahead, J-GILLZ.
Well, ultimately, we got to look at the offense was never the problem in Buffalo. Under Joe Brady, since he's taken over, he's produced the MVP quarterback. He's produced the top rusher in the league. Offense is not a problem, regardless of who you got out there on offense. He's been able to produce. Are you going to be able to lead these men, and are you going to be able to hit a defense? That's what we want to know, and that's the question.
Absolutely. We're going to see that coming. So, Josh Allen, guy shows up on crutches with a boot on. J-GILLZ, you were sitting right next to me in Cleveland. I said, man, this dude done broke his foot. I said it right there in the press box. I said, dude, look how he's walking, man. That dude is seriously hurt. And he comes in and says, oh, yeah, I broke my foot in the Cleveland game, and I played the last 4 games with a broken foot. Do we give a damn, man? Do we give a damn about Josh Allen breaking his foot in the Cleveland game? And you going to come out there and turn the ball over the rest of the season? Come on, man. Josh Allen. When is the Buffalo media people going to wake up and say, yo, you had 4 fumbles in the playoffs, man? That Cleveland game. All you get, when is Josh Allen going to get the rocks out of his head to realize, use the rules the NFL has given to the NFL quarterbacks? All he had to do was just throw the ball at Myles Garrett's feet. Just spike the ball into the dirt. As long as you outside the pocket or outside the hash marks, you can just throw the ball down. What does Josh Allen do? No, he doesn't do that. He runs 20 yards backwards and runs. He ran all the way into his own end zone and almost caused a safety. And the game was only a 3-point game. That game would have been a 1-point game because of his bonehead decision to not spike the ball and call the players over with. I've been asking the head coach, Sean McDermott, for the last 2 years, when is Josh Allen going to start using the rules that they have made for him? He doesn't. It's like he doesn't understand the game of football, the rules that just spike the ball, man, and live for another day. You wouldn't have ever been hurt if you would have just, as soon as you got out of the pocket and nobody was there, throw the ball into the ground. Why do you think Tom Brady played until he was 46? Because he always threw the ball into the ground when he didn't have an opportunity for an open receiver or working the play that they had called. Not Bilal. Let's go with J-GILLZ. Comments on that?
Yeah, man, I ain't going to go that hard on Josh Allen.
He got rocks in his head, man. He's not.
Man,
if he was
man,
intelligent,
J-GILLZ,
if he was intelligent, he would be a Hall of Fame. He could be a Hall of Fame quarterback because he got the skills.
So he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. I know it's tough out here these days to get the first ballot, but he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. He still got a heck of a career ahead of him. He's an MVP. You know, the reigning MVP, actually, until we crown somebody. That's how he plays. The man's never missed a start. He played with a broken foot. You got to give that man respect. If his defense could have gotten the ball back, he could be playing in the Super Bowl right now with a broken foot. You got to put some respect on him, man. You got to put some respect on him. The way his style of play, he's physical. I mean, he's 6'4", 250. The man's a beast. You gotta put some respect on him, and it's not an excuse. We see you on the. It's not an excuse, but we see you in the comments. But you gotta put some respect on him. He can play better, but that toughness is who Josh Allen is, and that's why they've won so many games, and that's why they are who they are because of him. He is the identity of the team.
Below. That's why we lost so many players. That's why we can't get over the hump. Because of last year, 4 fumbles this season. Last year, I looked it up against Kansas City, 3 fumbles in that game. The only difference was the Bills recovered all 3 of the fumbles that Josh Allen had. The year before that, it simply waits to turn the ball over in the playoffs. Bilal, your comments.
Yes, sir. So I've always been coached to have this understanding of when it comes to the difference between injury and hurt. Playing injured and playing hurt. If you're hurt, I don't want to hear any. Again, you coming in with the boot now is whatever, right?
Right.
Because if you're hurt, you play and you produce. We don't want to see anything or hear anything about what you couldn't do or how it affected your ability to produce or perform on the field afterwards. If you're injured, meaning you're not going to be able to produce the way you could, even if you were hurt, don't go out there because that's going to hurt your team. So I feel like the boot kind of the boot is a little concerning for me because it's like, hey, you know what I mean, man, fly under the radar, stay out of the media until you got the boot off, or when you come out into the public, hey, you just take the boot off because now that's a talking point. Now that's something into Top Gun's point. The whole boot thing in the Superman complex. That complex came from somewhere. It came from folks constantly throwing this whole Superman idea on him, this whole Superman moniker and complex like kind of heaving that on him. I respect that he's the MVP. J-GILLZ, pump your brakes on the whole, Hall of Fame thing. You know what I mean? Just yet, listen.
Come on, man. We just can't get him out the Hall of Fame now.
But, bro, what does he do? One of
he just got all I'm saying is he has a career left. That's premature to say that, man. I understand what Radman was saying. If he wants to be in the Hall of Fame, he got to protect himself. But you can't just say he's not going to be in there right now. He's still got a lot of at least 10 years left.
So if he wants to make it 10 years, is I think what Radman is saying. If he wants to make it another 10 years, you listen. He what is he? Is he 30 yet? Is he 30?
He's 29. Great turn 30.
Yeah. So yeah. That broken foot looks and feels a lot different on the body at 29 going into 30 than it will at 34, 35 and beyond. So if he wants to stick around, and again, you can be a tough guy all you want. If the injuries start to mount up, it will impact his performance in his play. And if you don't have the discipline to say, you know what, rather than hurt my team, we'll go out there. I mean, we saw Bo Nix broke his ankle, so he was definitely injured, and there wasn't going to be any possibility he could get out of the field and play. But Sean Payton got on the microphone in that press conference and said, "Listen, we going to get out here and we're going to rally around Jarrett Stidham. Yep. If you don't believe in the guy behind you, like that's part of being a leader on the team too. Like really being realistic about what you can do, what you can't do, and whether or not it's going to hurt or help your team."
And one other key point, if you listen, if you haven't heard his press conference, check out what Josh Allen had to say. It was very, very interesting because I picked up 2 points. One, okay, we knew you were hurt in the Cleveland. I knew that. We knew that watching the game. You had broke your foot doing that dumb move, running backwards instead of spiking the ball where you never would have been hurt. And the guy, he's taking unnecessary hits. And then number 2, he said, "I got to work on my footwork during the offseason." Because he knows he lost that in Philadelphia Eagles game once again, 13-12. The defense only gave up 13 points, and you lose because he did not. Once he got out of the pocket, all he had to do was set his feet and throw the ball to a wide open Khalil Shakir. He didn't set his foot, mainly because it was broken and 0 It was cold out there too. I mean, but you got to you playing the game, set your feet, throw the ball properly. So because most of his interceptions and problems have been because he doesn't set his feet. And that's a mental thing. He doesn't set his feet. I think one last thing. Hold on. I think he's just a little too hyped. He stays too hyped. He puts too much pressure during those. And you know, when his eyes get real beady and you say, oh, here we go. This is the other Josh Allen out here today. Oh, here we go. It's going to be interesting to see. And he doesn't play within himself. He doesn't play within himself to give himself a chance to lead. And J-GILLZ, your comment coming up.
I got to say, I'd rather a broke foot Josh Allen than a concussed Tua. Some people can play through injuries and some people can't. I'm taking Josh Allen in that toughness.
But this segment is brought to you by Soul Restaurant, 211 Genesee Street, featuring Soul Food Sundays, open noon to 9 p.m. on Sunday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Check out Jamaican Soul for the fine food there on Soul Food Sunday, and also to experience the award-winning authentic Indian food in a warm, inviting atmosphere. That's Delhi of India. The lunch buffet served from 11:30 to 2 p.m. and dinner from 4:40 to 8:30 p.m. 3259 South Winton Road in the Wynn Jeff Plaza. Y'all check those two two restaurants out. Two of the best eateries in all of Monroe County. Check them out. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I just think keeping the streak alive, and again, I know he came out in the Jets game and only played that one play, but playing the Eagles game, how much more damage did he do playing on that broken foot? That could have, you know what I mean, that he could have preserved himself to be healthier during the playoffs, and then he ran, you know, again he had to put on the Superman cape at different points during the first playoff game against Jacksonville. How, you know what I mean? How much if he just plays just a little differently, does he preserve and protect himself to be as healthy as he could have potentially been for the big picture push? The big picture push was getting to this game. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we're about to go. You know what I mean? Go to San Francisco to cover. That was the big picture. You know what I mean? You can't lose sight of the big picture, and I think that's the thing that, you know what I mean. You know, you got to, hindsight is 20/20, but you want to keep that in mind always. What's the big goal?
Yeah. I like it. What's up? Good morning, Real Deal Sports Show family. Great to hear your voice. Hey, I don't know about anybody else, but it's cold where I am. But I don't need no heat here in this warm buffoonery. Hey, you know what I'm about to get on? Josh Allen, time for you to leave Buffalo. J-GILLZ, you the only one to me today talking with some sense. The Rad Man and Bilal, y'all was out at the club last night celebrating something. Y'all coming in. What in the world y'all complain about McDermott? We all used to complain and talk about how the defense let Josh Allen down in those playoff games. Now he doing too much. My man out there, I'm with J-GILLZ. Give me a broken foot Josh Allen. I'm going to go a step further. Over 50% of the starting quarterbacks in the league today. The man is Radman Rodgers had part of his allure of being Superman is that he is going to run into some bad plays. But you got to take the good with the bad. Mike Vick did it. Cam Newton did it. Man, Cam Newton had some awful sacks, but he had some Superman runs, and you got to take the good with the bad. To me, the way y'all just flat out defecate on Josh Allen on a Saturday morning, I just don't get it. J-GILLZ, I appreciate the commentary from everybody, but especially you, J-GILLZ. Radman, I just got to just ask. Would you rather not have Josh Allen? You want Mr. Trubisky being in there? You want to be in the quarterback purgatory like Pittsburgh? Josh Allen is the best thing Buffalo has had since 1990 with the Jim Kelly days. Like, to me, I just don't understand the vitriol that y'all give him on a weekly basis. In particular, this press conference wasn't even about him. J-GILLZ to me said it right. They went from old curmudgeon dad who kept everybody in line. Now Big Brother is now the man of the house. We're going to see what's going to look like with Joe Brady. The offense was never the problem. I like the Raheem Morris. But, man, the way y'all come at Josh Allen, Bilal, I'm disappointed with you, Bilal. Radman, I'm used to his wildness with that. What? But come on, man. Josh Allen, the best in the Bills.
Hear me out. Fanatic, hear me out.
Go ahead. Talk to me, baby.
I will take Josh Allen over most guys in the NFL. What we're saying is big picture matters. You want a healthy Josh Allen, and you don't want a healthy Josh Allen for just this year or next year. You want Josh Allen healthy for the long haul. Does Josh Allen have the potential to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? Absolutely. But you know what somebody once told me about potential? Potential is great because when you hear it, it means somebody believes you are capable of doing some great things. You know what it also means? It means you haven't done it yet.
Right. Thank you.
He has
the
potential to do great things.
He won an MVP. He has done great things. He's kept Buffalo. He's overtaken the Patriots dynasty. Brady and Belichick were at the end, but it could have been the Jets. It could have been Miami. We know the NFL is about situations, and to me, Josh Allen has elevated the situation.
Who won the AFC East this year? Oh, that team!
My
that's
came
the
yeah.
Super Bowl.
Hey, man, you have to understand, though. The Bills needed every bit of Josh Allen, and you acting like
every bit.
He had the 5 turnovers, but it was still a controversial call. He could have very well been playing in the Super Bowl easily. So I mean, come on. Even with a broken foot, he was a bad call away from potentially beating the Patriots in the AFC conference game.
But it's because of the turnovers that he would put in. The Bills should have beat Broncos. Let's face it.
Yeah,
Bills should have beat Denver by 10 points. He should have beat them by 10.
No way.
They should have beat them by 10 points, man.
I love how J-GILLZ just tried to slide that 5 turnovers in there.
Did they have a chance to win the game?
Wait. Hold on.
Exactly.
Hold on, Fanatic. Did he make this?
And what about Jacksonville? He went on the road. I haven't seen a quarterback all year take a beating that man stood in the pocket that he had to take because of sorry bend but don't break defense, the very average special teams. My man Ray Davis every now and then gonna pop one. They're average across the board. The Bills are an average low spade team. It's hard to set somebody when you got a bunch of 5, 6, 7 spades in your hand. Josh Allen is the king of all kings in that regard of quarterback play. He's in that upper echelon. Like, to me, and I love Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow's biggest issue is availability. Josh Allen out there on a broken foot, better than half the league. Oh, y'all gotta be kidding me. Go ahead, Rab. Y'all gotta be kidding me.
You miss. Hold on, guys. You're missing the big point. The big point is he got to get rid of the ball. He doesn't have to hold on to the ball. Like when he runs to the sideline and he waits, throw the ball away, man. For the next, he's taking unnecessary hits. He done had 1 surgery this year. We don't know if he had surgery the year before for his hand or whatever. This guy might have had surgery the last 2 or 3 years after the season because of the way he plays. He got to think if he's going to last 3 to 4 more seasons, he's not going to make it playing the way he plays. He got to learn what Brady and them. Brady on TV was crack. Brady was trying his best to cover it. He's like, oh man, what is he doing? He said, man, throw the ball away, man. Throw it away so that you don't be. I'm talking about him using his brain to realize, let me live for the next play. I don't have to run every play. Let me throw the ball into the ground. Let's go huddle. Or if it's a third down, let me throw the ball away. Let's punt. We're going to have to punt, and let's get it next time. You can't be out there thinking it's the end of the game every series, and he's trying to make plays, holding the ball way too long, running backward. He got hurt running backwards, Fanatic. How do you explain? I know McDermott was. I bet McDermott was cussing him out in the like, man. Why would you run 20 yards backwards why would you do that?
C.J. Stroud. We destroyed C.J. Stroud for his performance last week.
Oh my God!
But yes, rightfully so.
So we can't. We can't give Josh Allen a pass. Now again,
he was the reason they was in the game below. CJ did nothing,
and he been doing that.
Come on,
CJ Stroud was doing that for weeks, man. You got to be kidding me, Bilal. CJ Stroud had been doing that for weeks. Big O called me and was like, yo, week 3, ever since he got concussed, and cats realistically were like, yo, we might be better off with Davis Mills. I was like laughing at them, and I saw C.J. Stroud coming down the end of the season with and without Nico Collins. Something is wrong with C.J. Stroud, and he don't know what he's looking at. And for you to compare Josh Allen because he turned the head, because not all turnovers are created equal. Not all turnovers are created. Like, look at Drake May.
The job is to protect
Drake
the ball.
May struggling.
That's a fact.
The job
CJ
is
did
to protect the
nothing.
ball.
CJ did nothing offensively, man. Josh made the throws. That could have been a catch or interception. It was a pick. He made the throw. That's on the receiver come down when he put him in position. At no time did CJ ever put the offensive position to do anything.
So from 5 turnovers to 4 turnovers. So from 5 turnovers to 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. At any coach I've ever been around will tell you we're not supposed to win a game where we turn the ball over 4 times.
But yet they had a chance. Why?
You're right.
But yet they had a chance.
You're right, and they still had a chance. And they
had a chance. Why?
Why are we grading this brother on the curve?
It's not about grading on the curve.
We're not.
You can't be bringing CJ Stroud in this conversation. That's just I can't stand for that.
Because if you turn the ball over, you just and you know what I respect? I respected that. He went to the microphone at the press conference after the game and ate it in tears, but he ate it. My play is why we didn't win this game. Again, it's aside from the atrocity that last call was, and the calls in the overtime. Those where are the Bills right now? If without four of those turnovers,
yeah,
where are the Bills right now without 4 of those?
You're
turnovers?
right. No, Bilal, you're right. He had a bad game against Denver, and
Top Gun has some good comments too. Sounds like a phone technology there, but he's always looking for that big play, according to Top Gun. Top Gun, excellent comments on the Beltway.
Absolutely.
Excellent comments on the Beltway, gentlemen. Very good comments on that. But what about?
I can't believe you decided to compare those turnovers, Bilal. Come on, man.
But hold on, before you wrap up on the Josh Allen thing, he did own it. The man, he does stand up and takes ownership, and I love that about Josh. He's always done that, even from his rookie year. He's taken ownership, so I really love that about him. But he really got to understand the game and say, if you want to, Bill's gonna win a Super Bowl and win it with Josh Allen, he got to stay on the field. He got to wake up and get rid of the ball and stop taking unnecessary hits and stop getting overhyped up and turning the ball. Because the last 2 years, he's turned the ball over 6 times. I was surprised. I was surprised when I looked at the stat. I didn't realize he fumbled 3 times in the Kansas City game, in the championship game against KC. But the Bills recovered all. So lucky this year, and that's the difference between him and some of these other quarterbacks who are playing in the Super Bowl. They don't turn the ball over.
Not that many playing in the Super Bowl.
Like who? Sam Darnold? Are you kidding me? Yeah, exactly. And Drake Drake May is my quarterback. My man been a turnover machine all playoffs. It's just that he's on a rookie deal, and the team around him has been carrying him because the Patriots defense is elite, even though Cat's not really saying it like that. But to me, I just want one simple question answered. What quarterback in the league? Yeah, exactly. Hey, come on now. You're right. Yeah, and they got it right. Big Mill Williams, the league, that dog, he's a dog, man, and Barmore. But I just want this one simple question. What quarterback, and this is inclusive of Mahomes, coming off his ACL, Bilal and the Radman in particular, what's the one or what? Give me the quarterbacks that you think that could win a championship with the Bills team as presently constructed. Who can win a championship with this team?
Well, I can't. Not this year's team. This year's team defense was just horrible because they could. If they should have held the lead in that Denver game, 27-23, they should have held the lead. That's on the defensive side, not holding that lead. The defense has cost them, but with the last 2 years, the offense just had turned the ball over and didn't score enough early to secure an early lead and hold on to a 10, 14-point lead that they could have easily had against Denver because Bills were rocking and rolling on the Broncos until the turnover started, and the Broncos got back in it. And heck, the Broncos, you saw what happened to them the other day. Without their starting quarterback, we see what we see here. But let's move on, guys. Minnesota Vikings fired their general manager, Fanatic. Do you think that was a good idea to fire the general manager?
I don't think so. But it seems like he's going to get scapegoated for for the J.J. McCarthy piece. But the Vikings have a solid team. I was definitely taken aback and surprised that the GM was part of and was let go, especially this late. And they elevated their president to lead the draft, and then they're going to hire a GM after the draft. So, no, I did not agree with that move.
You don't agree with that. But how about you, J-GILLZ?
Nah, looking at it, I honestly hate to see it. I hate to see, this is the third black GM fired this offseason. Chris Greer and in Miami, then you got Atlanta, and now I don't know if we have any more black GMs except for Chicago. But it had to happen. He is the general manager. We wanted Brandon Beane going because he constructs that team. To draft J.J. McCarthy is one thing, but to let Sam Darnold go, let him walk, and now he's playing in the Super Bowl, to me, that's a fireable offense. It's unfortunate. It's a fireable offense, and he's the GM. He had to go. He had to go, if you ask me. And same with Atlanta. Like I say, I know we're talking about this, but that GM, you can't get the number one pick. You draft the quarterback, you lose your first round pick, you miss the playoffs. These guys, it's unfortunate, but it had to be done, in my opinion.
Bilal, your take on the the surprise firing of Mensah?
Yeah, we're an overreactive kind of prisoner of the moment, and that's the problem. So they were prisoners of the moment last year because, again, and this is the thing about the problem with the NFL. The big picture issue is one of narratives, right? So the narrative around Sam Darnold was, in big games, he didn't show up. So he won those 14 wins last season with the Vikings, right? And then in the last game of the season, he didn't show up. And then they get the bye though because they had the number one seed. And then in the playoff game, he doesn't show up. They're one and done in the playoffs, right? So off he goes to Seattle, where he's got a top flight defense, a Super Bowl caliber defense, a top tier running game. You know what I mean? Protected. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the 14 wins and all of the production he had this season. But you do realize he also led the league in turnovers. So to fire your GM, and the only reason they fired the GM is a byproduct of where Sam Darnold is with a team right now. If Sam Darnold wasn't going to the Super Bowl, they wouldn't have fired their GM. Their GM, and if J.J. McCarthy wouldn't have been hurt and would have made it through the season and even played halfway decent, they would have been celebrated. He would have been nominated for a GM of the year. This is an overreaction to something that has nothing to do with the play of an individual person, which to me is the tragedy of it. That team that's constructed over in Seattle is a team that is built for where they are right now. And they did it in the toughest division in football, and you don't just do that with just a good quarterback. So for me, the Vikings are scapegoating the GM, and I don't like stuff like that.
They also mentioned Daniel Jones, that he messed up with Daniel Jones too. That was also mentioned in the press release.
But you were the number one seed last year. You were the number one seed last year, 14 wins.
Yeah.
You can't make the playoffs the next season. I'm sorry, but that's about the roster construction. You don't have the quarterback. You don't have the talent. The defense took a hit. That's on the GM. We can't say that Brandon Beane deserves to be fired because of the roster he put out there. And then this season with Minnesota, how you go from the number one seed to not making the playoffs?
No, well, I know. Well, Detroit was the number one seed last year, but the real thing though, it was that to me, a lot of this stuff is luck. And to me, because one thing that I read this week, John Snyder, he actually wanted Geno Smith back. And they tried hard to get Geno, and Geno was basically like, nah, I'm done with y'all. I'm
I think we lost him there for a minute. But it worked out. He was an analytics guy. It's a power play, they said, too. Kevin O'Connor wanted somebody else in that position. So that sees all these teams. A lot of these teams are having power issues within the building.
Always.
So, and this guy was more of an analytical guy. He wasn't a football guy, too, is what a lot of the people, Kevin O'Connor and them were saying about the guy.
If anything, then I can hear that, because you know what I mean. I dig into the analytics a little bit, but if you're making every decision based on analytics, the reality is when you're a sports guy, sometimes you gotta get out of the analytics and say, listen, this is right now, give it, because you know what the analytics can't take into account? The analytics can't take into account momentum in a moment, how you can, feel the shifting of a game in a moment. All of those things matter. And so, but for me, in terms of firing a guy, because again, if the question boils down to if Seattle wasn't going to the Super Bowl right now, would this man still have a job? And I think
that's speculation, though. If it comes to a boiling point, you think they've been beefing all season. It was going to come to an end. It was going to come to an end at some point, regardless if Sam went to a bowl or not. Because Sam could lose the bowl, and then it was at a boiling point, and it just boiled over. I think that we looking too much into the timing of right now. It was going to happen.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to not factor in the timing of a thing, right? So the same way, we were just talking about Josh Allen in the press conference. A comment was made that the press conference wasn't even about Josh Allen, but the moment he showed up in a booth, it became about Josh Allen. The timing of this firing matters. If it wasn't about where Sam Darnold is right now, then timing matters.
So you don't think it had nothing to do with them winning 14 games and then only winning, 7?
The 14 games are attributed very much so with Sam Darnold. All we've heard for the last couple of weeks is Sam Darnold won 14 games back-to-back seasons with different teams. He's the only quarterback ever to do that. That factors in.
Did the GM have an opportunity to keep Sam Darnold?
So you're making my point that this firing is all about one player.
But regardless,
it is about one player in hindsight. Not about what to your point.
If it's about Sam Darnold, right, and his timing, and if Sam Darnold wasn't in the Super Bowl, but to your point, he is. So does the GM need to go?
So you apparently, I wouldn't say that's a fireable offense.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. The award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. Give her a call for the best insurance options that you could have in the area. And the roads are slippery. Hey, she got it all to help you out. If you're in an accident or something, hey, the claim service is outstanding with a lot of the people she carry, the Progressive, all farmers. So check her out, Miriam Rivera Insurance. J-GILLZ, of course, you know about this one, right?
Advantage Federal Credit Union, AdvantageFCU.org, auto loans, Visa cards, student checking accounts, and much more. Students, it's about that time. We only got, 5 more months of school left. We got prom coming up. We got college. Open up that savings account right now at Advantage Federal Credit Union.
Absolutely. And J-GILLZ, next week we're in San Francisco. The show will be live on YouTube. Check it out throughout the week. Before we get to next Saturday, of course, we'll be on next Saturday, as we always are, Real Deal Sports Show, broadcasting live from the Moscone Convention Center in San Francisco, California. Who are some of the guests we already have lined up to come on the show during the week show, the show Absolutely. That you only can see on YouTube, on the streaming service on YouTube?
You're going to want to like, you're going to want to comment and subscribe. Check us out right now. You can check out last year's interviews with a plethora of entertainers, from Kirk Franklin to Deontay Wilder to the list goes on. This year we've got lined up for Bills Mafia. We got Tyrod Taylor. We got the legendary Lee Steinberg. We got N'Kobe Dean. We've got a lot of folks, Jonathan Stewart. And of course, we got the Super Bowl legends. So look out. There could be a potential Randy Moss fight and Cam Newton, and the list goes on. We've got a lot going on. Check out the Super Bowl Soulful Celebration. It's going to be streaming on Saturday. It's going to be something that you don't want to miss. You always can check us out right here. Like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube. We're going live. You never know who we can get. Man, right, man? How many? I mean, name the list. You tell us, right, man? You've been this is number 17 for you. You never know who you can get.
You never know. People walk up to you. Next thing we know, we had Deacon Jones several years ago. Deacon Jones, God rest his soul, came on. Oh man, that was one of my. Everybody asked me what all these interviews we do each year. Deacon Jones is still one of my all-time favorite because he was raw, plain, and he didn't give a damn. He just let you know he didn't like quarterback. He had slapped you the whole 9 yards. Mel Blount came on. You never know. With those guys in the gold jackets always walking around ready to do an interview. Barry Sanders usually comes on. So stay with us all this week.
My redemption story, Shedeur Sanders will be in the building. We can talk about that controversial 4th and 2 viral moment that we had. So just be locked and loaded right here on the Real Deal Sports Show YouTube page.
All right. And you can also realdealsportshow.com. Check out the website. Kimmy does it best. Best custom design, website design, and ongoing maintenance. Kimmy can help your business online grow. She can help grow your business. Visit KimmyDoesItBest.com or contact her at support@KimmyDoesItBest.com. And Kimmy will be with us, joining us out in San Francisco this coming week. So looking forward to have almost the entire crew, a large portion of the crew that you hear from here on the Beat 105.5 Real Deal Sports Show. We'll be out in San Francisco, California, in the Bay Area, and we'll be on, and we're working out there, y'all. So check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, subscribe to the show on YouTube. You'll get the notifications, and you'll see you don't know who we might be interviewing this coming week. Exactly, out there in California. Next up, the Australian Open. And let me start the Australian Open comment as I've been giving Coco Gauff a rough time. She's a good player. My thing is, I'm projecting Serena Williams on her. I'm thinking she's the next Serena Williams, and she just may not be. She's a very good tennis player. I got up the other night at 3:30 in the morning. I looked at my watch. I said, "Oh man," I laid down again. Next thing you know, it was 4:30. I got up. When I got up to turn on the match, they were leaving the court because Coco got whooped in about an hour time by this girl. This girl put it on her, man. Put a beat down on her. She's good. She's good. She was playing very well in the earlier matches. It's just that she's not Serena Williams, but she's up and coming. Hope she'll continue to work on her game and be able to get ready for the next major. Jessica Pegula, another girl. She liked the bill. She gets there. She just can't get it. She had a good one, almost got there, but the girl, man, she just couldn't get it done. The other night as well, I thought Jessica Pegula would make the finals. The way she was playing, this is the best I've seen her play. She really was focused, concentrating. But she is just Jessica Pegula, Coco Gauff, very good players. But there's just a couple players above them that they just have a hard time beating, guys. But we'll see on that. And I know, Julian, you wanted to say something about Carlos Alcaraz?
Yeah, hey, I remember the COVID guy, Novak Djokovic, the all-time Grand Slams winner. He's still out there going. I couldn't believe that he came back similar to the Rad Man. Was up early, man, and I watched. I was like, Cynic in the Italian. He is going to come back and whoop up on Djokovic. And I looked up and I was like, wait a minute, they go to a fifth set. And so Novak Djokovic did beat Jannik Sinner. And Jannik Sinner has really been dominating the Australian Open. And now it's the old man Novak Djokovic against the young guy who's coming for him, just like Djokovic came for Nadal and Federer a time ago. So tomorrow, Carlos Alcaraz looking to get his Australian Open title so he can win the career Grand Slam. I love his game. Smooth. I like it that he gets when he get going, as Radman said, he get a little beady eye. He start yelling to the crowd. Joker gonna be trying to put on the crowd and get the crowd going. So tomorrow early morning, if you up early, it should be a really great championship match. Early Sunday morning, Novak Djokovic continue to push his record for all-time Grand Slams versus the young guy coming up, Carlos Alcaraz, who had an amazing last 2 years.
Absolutely, that should be a good match as well. Definitely look forward to seeing that. And Top Gun had a good question too. I like this one. The Pro Bowl, but they need to stop calling it the Pro Bowl because Shedeur Sanders is not a Pro Bowler. Come on, man. I like Shedeur Sanders. He's nowhere near being a Pro Bowler. And somebody else just got it the other day. They brought somebody else in. Yeah, Joe, thank you. Yeah, I was like, what? I said, come on, man. They just need to say they've been added to us. They've been added to the lineup, but they're not a Pro Bowler. Come on, that word is being totally misused.
I hear you, Rap Man. I totally hear you, Rap Man. The NFL needs to go on and admit, like, so the reality is once the game, you know what I mean, the game of football at the NFL level, and we've seen it in the NBA, you know what I mean, these Pro Bowl All-Star games, they are nowhere near what they were a generation ago. And it's because players have a lot more to protect, so-called. The NFL also hurt they wanted to have something in between the weeks of the Super Bowl, so that hurt who was even going to be able to go to the game, because a lot of times Pro Bowl players were selected from, on the Super Bowl team. So you had a lot of players now not going because their teams were in the Super Bowl. But man, I would go back and say the shift started when Robert Edwards, who was a rookie for the New England Patriots, went to the Pro Bowl and blew out his knee after having an outstanding season. Once that happened, players started looking at going to the Pro Bowl differently, and the potential of what might happen if that injury, they could have a career-changing injury. So from that point on, we realized, that the quality of the game wasn't going to be what it was, because they were going to continue to water down the rules to keep guys safe, keep their brand safe, keep the NFL safe. But at least they had the sits. Now, again, I agree with you that Shedeur didn't play Pro Bowl level football to be going.
No.
But the NFL was at least smart enough to say he's going to bring ratings.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in a lot of years. I'll be watching to see what Shedeur does.
And let's stop calling it a Pro Bowl. It's a flag football game, man. Y'all watching
thank you,
flag game? It's a flag football game.
Hey,
and
I'm with you there.
Top Gun, you're absolutely right. Down on the Beltway, Morris Thompson with all the great comments today. You're right, flag football, and it's not what we think of as the Pro Bowl. They need to just call it a celebrity challenge or celebrity something. Needs to call it something.
Flag, like you might as well throw some celebrities in. I think that's a great idea. Like how they got the celebrity all-star game. If you playing flag, should I play flag with them? And it's an Olympic sport now, ain't it? Flag football, Olympic sport.
That's right.
Seeing it in 2028. But fellas, before we go, trade deadline Thursday, where is Giannis gonna go?
Great question. I would like to see him. To me, Minnesota. That's the teams I've heard that folks are really interested. To me, him and Ed Edwards would be great. But I still want to see the babyface assassin. I think it'll be dope to see him get one more chip. I feel bad. Right. Nobody even really talked about it. Like Jimmy Butler, great player, tore his ACL. That might be really into his career. I'm saying send him to Golden State.
I'm with you, Fanatic.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The money lines up, the contracts lines up. Golden State has enough picks to pull it off if they wanted to. It would definitely make the West that much more interesting, because right now everyone's got it down to it's either San Antonio, OKC, and Houston. Maybe Denver might have something to say in the matter, but it'll make the West real interesting. Real quick on Coco Gauff, I feel like she's carrying so much would not be outside of the court stuff, and I think that stuff definitely impacts what happens on the court, and I tip my hat to it. I give her a lot of respect for all of the weight of the cultural climates stuff and the racism around the sport of tennis that she carries and has to navigate all of the microaggressions. I mean, that stuff, man. She does it first class.
Yeah.
Shout out and respect to Coco Gauff for carrying herself just the classiest of ladies.
Absolutely.
And that's why shout out to Venus and Serena for doing it for all them years. Yes. And they were the pioneers. So shout out to both of them.
Exactly. DJ Sean Touch, in closing, your comments.
I have no comments, man. I'm just listening, man. Listen to commentary, man. Listen, I think that, I think the Seahawks is going to pull it off for the Super Bowl. I think so for that too. So, and shout out, fun fact, for the Patriots being Drake being the second youngest quarterback to play in the Super Bowl. That's going to be a good thing to watch. So.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Sir.
I know we
But
give
like
our picks next week, but I like that pick though.
And where can they catch the show? Yeah, you like that pick too. We're gonna give our picks next
He
week.
wasn't stepping out on the limb. He wasn't stepping out on the limb.
No. Like it, subscribe to the show on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Check us out from San Francisco next week, everybody. Real Deal Sports Show. Remember to be a good sport, everybody. Take care and have a great day.
Stay warm.
Appreciate you.